Hi gorgeous, it's Ker-leen. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. Today I will be doing a comparison between Khadlaj's Sawaar Vanille Blanc and Phlur's Vanilla Skin perfume. If you want to hear my thoughts on how these two fragrances compare, then please keep watching. Hey friend, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me over here for another video. If you're new here on this channel, I talk luxury, I do review videos, I share my fragrance journey like today's video, I sprinkle in a little bit of lifestyle here and there, and in every single video I share some encouragement. So if that's your thing, then I think you'll love it here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. So let's chat a little bit about Sawaar Vanille Blanc. But before we jump in, I want to say thank you so much to Khadlaj for sending over this fragrance for me to try. So I've seen this fragrance before and it's one of the fragrances that I had put on my list of fragrances to try, but I just hadn't gotten around to it. So I'm super grateful and excited to be testing this fragrance out. Now, I have already been wearing this fragrance because it is one of the few fragrances that as soon as I received it, I immediately started wearing it. For a lot of this brand's fragrances, I feel like I have to let them sit, but this one, y'all, came ready to go. And not only that, the performance really caught me off guard, and I'll talk a little bit about that later in this video. But for now, let's talk about the notes. So this perfume is, in my opinion, vanillic and musky. It feels warm, subtly spicy, and subtly woody. There is vanilla, apple, and powdered sugar at the top of this fragrance. At the mid, we have cashmere wood, amber, and white blossom. And at the base, we have a gorgeous velvety mix of vanilla, sandalwood, and benzoin. This is so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this perfume opens up with that powdered sugar and sort of muskiness. So to my nose, it evokes a cloud of powdered sugar with that apple note, adding a bit of fruitiness, but in a crisp way, not in a super syrupy sweet sort of way. This remains very powdered and light, cloud-like, and even airy in the opening, but it is so sweet and playful, but not juvenile. It also immediately gives a very soft, woody feel. So the wood feels crisp and it also feels soft. And I can totally see that because it has the note cashmere wood. And for me, this definitely gives a cashmere-like feel, but there's a wood peeking through in the background. So it still remains very soft and vanillic, creamy even, but in my opinion, it smells sophisticated and elevated because there's a supportive woody accord in this fragrance. So the opening is so fun and playful and sweet and innocent, and then you have a little bit of a wittiness peeking through, and then this fragrance just continues to develop and get even more creamy and dense and velvety the longer I have it on. It is beautiful on skin as well as on clothes. It is so, so pretty. In my opinion, this is the kind of vanilla that would be the perfect signature scent simply because it is warm and cozy and inviting. And this is also a compliment getter. I had this on yesterday and it was nonstop compliments from the people in my household, my husband and my kids. And y'all know kids will tell you the truth. My younger son in particular is always sniffing me whenever I have fragrance on. And he will usually tell me if something smells good or if he doesn't like it and it smells bad to him. And he was snuggling me and sniffing me because I had this one on. And this one definitely has his vote of approval. My husband also nuzzled my neck and said, you smell so good. And this is what I had on. My husband's very much a guy's guy, so he's not like looking for what I have on. And he typically doesn't comment on fragrance unless he has a strong opinion. And he definitely likes this one. So this one definitely is a win in my book when it comes to receiving compliments and being crowd pleasing. So now let's talk a little bit about performance. In my experience, this one is definitely the kind of fragrance that when you first spray it out, it definitely projects at more than an arm's length and it gives a beautiful sillage. However, and it could be because this is fairly new to me, that only lasts about the first hour or so before this fragrance becomes more of an intimate scent bubble where people will have to come in close to be able to perceive it. However, where this one lacks in projection and sillage, it more than makes up for in its its longevity. I am happy to report that this fragrance is extremely long lasting. This passed the PJ test for me, and I was smelling this and enjoying it on myself all day long. When I spray this on clothes, it gives me well over 8 hours at the moment, and I'm kind of excited to see how the performance improves as this fragrance matures. So this is one that I will be back with an update on for you all, because I have such high hopes for this fragrance in terms of that projection and that sillage that we just talked about. Now let's get into how this one compares to the original fragrance.
Phlur's Vanilla Skin is sugary sweet and has an apple mix at the opening, but that is very short-lived. The pink pepper kicks in almost right away and is pretty prominent in the opening into the mid, and it kind of reminds me of YSL's Baby Cat fragrance. I feel like Vanilla Skin is not nearly as sweet as Vanille Blanc, and it also feels powdery, but it's a bit more like a dry wood, so much more woody and much less musky than Vanille Blanc. Also, the projection is much softer at first blast, and overall it's a more intimate fragrance. Vanille Blanc is 80% similar to Vanilla Skin, with Vanilla Skin becoming a bit more similar in the deep dry down where it gets creamier, but still not as creamy as Vanille Blanc. So in general, I feel like Vanille Blanc is 80% similar, and I might bump that up to 85% similar towards the deep dry down.
I do have one more note for you all. So if you currently own Empire Victor, and if you're not trying to own fragrances that smell similar, maybe you're curating a very small collection, you don't want waste, then you may think that this one smells a bit too similar to Sawaar Vanille Blanc. Y'all, I love this fragrance. This fragrance is incredible. It's so good. So in my opinion, these two fragrances share that same powdered sugar feel, as well as that vanillic essence. Now where they differ is Sawaar Vanille Blanc comes across as a bit more complex and a bit more mature than Empire Victor, and that's probably because of that lemon that's in Empire Victor. It gives it a bit more playfulness, and it definitely comes across as brighter. And obviously Empire Victor doesn't have the woody accords that Sawaar Vanille Blanc has. So if you're someone that does not want to have two fragrances that are even similar in any way, shape, or form, I think you might find these two redundant in your collection. However, in my opinion, they are two separate fragrances, and if you're someone that doesn't mind subtle similarities in your perfumes, I think Sawaar Vanille Blanc is definitely worth checking out, and the longevity on Vanille Blanc is definitely noteworthy. So while I do not think these two smell the same, they are definitely nowhere near the same fragrance. Some might find having the two redundant simply because of that musky, powdery, vanillic feel that both fragrances give. All right, friend, we have come to the end of the video, and if you're still here, thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, if it provided any value to you today, don't forget to hit the like button. And also, if you're here and you love fragrance content, I would love to have you join the family, so hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss another video. Before you go today, I just want to remind you how valuable your life is to God and to the world around you. There is a purpose for your life. And the beautiful thing about every day that we get breath in our lungs is we have an opportunity to discover our purpose. And so I want you to leave today's video remembering that you are special, you are unique, you are perfectly made, and there is purpose on your life. So don't let anything today or anyone make you feel or tell you otherwise. As always, I will be over here doing the exact same thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye!